Welcome to different world. It's completely different for me. Hello.
Welcome to printmaking. Well, we've met at the entrance to the Academy. Thank you, and see you later. So this is the space of printmaking. We are now at the studio of Intaglio Techniques. I'm the professor who is teaching here. Here are my students. I will show you around a little bit. There are two studios, Intaglio Techniques studios and further lithography techniques. So I want to invite you to the world of printmaking. And first, maybe I will show you a few prints that we made in the studio. Well, modestly, I will start with my own print because it's somehow related to the times we live in now. This print shows the National Stadium in Warsaw. I like to show different spaces that are usually filled with thousands of people, and in these times they are completely empty. As you may know, the National Stadium now is transferred into a hospital, into a temporary hospital, so it's a very symbolic moment for us and for Poland these times. It is made in the technique of ferroprint. In our studio we run a very particular research into different printmaking techniques. We try to use the old techniques in new ways. So our motto is from tradition to innovation. We use old 600 years old, 500 years old techniques, but we give them new meaning, new versions, new ways of expression. So here are more prints from my students. Here are prints made with the technique of collagraphy. So different pastes were attached to a plastic matrix and then printed in color. As you can see, in printmaking it's all about texture, all about structure, all about layers. And it's a technique that allows you to make different versions, an addition of prints. So it's a complicated process that we all love. So you can see during this visit you will be able to see different stages of our work on projects. The finished works are the first thing I'm showing you, but you will see step by step how printmaking in different techniques is made. So to show you maybe a little more examples of prints, you can do them in color. We always work with metal plates. They can be aluminum, zinc, or iron plates. And in this case, Izabela Krześlak's print, there are 2 or 3 matrices. Each color has a different matrix. We are now in the studio with the presses, so normally we are blessed with printing on big machines, on presses, but during the pandemic we were able also to move our workshop to home, and later I will show you how to print an intaglio print at home. But maybe a few more examples. This is a labyrinth, also very symbolic of our times. One of our students who is here, who is now on an open workshop, he's not here, but he made this print before. Of course, Paris. So printmaking is a technique that links people together, because we can make a print and send it to another country, and the same edition can be shown in different countries at the same time. So these are one of our Erasmus students, Pazzia, so craziness, another print. And here are mezzotins by Michał Wasiak, who made this very traditional technique with beautiful velvety blacks. And here you have an example of artistic books, because we can also make books with prints. This is called Flash Drawing Tour. Each year, before the pandemic, it was possible for us to travel to Italy, to Urbino, which is also, as you know, a city of UNESCO World Heritage, so we love it, and we always go there to draw it, to make drawings and then make paintings. We cooperate with the International Center Caos Urbino with Giuliano Santini, and each year we go there with our students to show them the Renaissance city and get inspired and make new prints. So you can see examples of this. So each student after that has a book like this with the prints of all students. This is one of my prints also. And this is the print of my assistant, Oskar Goszkiewicz, who will meet in a moment too. So this is the part with the books. Here you can see the process of printing. Here is a plate. Pani Andrzeju, może pan podejść? I would like to, this is Andrzej Cybulski, my student from Belarus and Poland, and he's making etchings. Can you say a few words about
This is Golden Dragon names. It's symbolic of Japan. Here you see symbols. Golden Dragon in Japan. It's symbolic of richness. So everybody who would like to be rich can go through the upstairs, the Golden Dragon.
So what is the process? We put the plate on the hot plate.
Yep. And then
we are used to using gloves in printmaking despite the pandemic. Before the pandemic, during pandemic, and after, we will always use gloves. So let's see together how printmaking is made.
So we have here ink printing. We take this with a small squeegee and put like this to the plate. We must put ink all over the place on the matrix in different direction. Now the ink is everywhere. And then we take some ink which we don't want to write. So here, and then we take a small yes, like this, and put ink into the lines which made by acid, like this one. So you have a plate, and then you have a small line which were put ink. Now I must switch newspaper. This one is all black, so it won't stick throughout. And we need to clean not be print. So all place metrics, because if we don't clean this one, it will be under our print, like dirty shapes that we don't would like to see. So I continue to clean all plate to see like this paint. So I clean all plate to know that ink on the lines there. So now I have a newspaper to make it more cleaner. Don't take ink which is on the lines, in the lines. So it's more clean, makes more cleaner a place. So now you see the plate is more clean. So here it's only black and white, so I would like to put some middle tones. Which are made with gas, which I only do round way to make this more darker. So now we can go to print.
move to the other room with the presses to put the plate on the press and
Nie, na zero zgłoś. Od nas dźwiękić.
So now we take a plate.
Chyba nie jesteśmy stąd. Słuchaj.
Take a plate. This. I put here. Like this one, and go into the for the paper.
Try. There's a special past for another structure. When you put a significantly thin layer, you have different structure and forces on it.
So we're now going to separate. Now we see a print. So now we put
Widzisz, że możesz przyjść do mnie, że cię wyrzucili. Już nie jesteś w programie.
you need to put it between cardboards so that it dries flat, otherwise it would be all sprinkled. So maybe I will take you to another part of the process. Here is a collection of drawings. Now you saw how the print is printed. So we use ink on a hot plate, we use press to get all the lines that were etched onto the paper. And now we'll go back to the first stage of the printmaking process, which is drawing. At our academy, the printmaking department was created in 1971, so we will have 50th anniversary next year. And Professor Fiałkowski, the head of the creator of the Department of Printmaking, he always maintained that the first step to printmaking is drawing. It's drawing with either technique, but the process that is enabled while you draw, while you observe nature and you translate your impressions into drawings, into ink, into paper, into pencil, is the first part of the process. So here is Karolina Kruk, our student, who made this collection of drawings, and she will tell you what was her idea, and this will be the project for further elaboration in printmaking. Please.
Hello, so I prepared the sketches projects to the next semester. and I made a project about my the best friend, my dog, which one I very missing when I was in Hungary previous semester, and I spent also free time with him, and this is my inspiration to do sketches and projects about him. I'm using ink, also the pencil in my works. I'm trying to preview the friendship with animal. Also, the other idea is preview the landscape of Polish mountains, Tatras mountains. When I was on holiday, I spent a week during hiking, and I trying to preview my subjective view of landscapes. I don't know what else I can say. That's
Which one is your favorite?
my favorite I think is that one and this one, because I this big one I preview two steps of my dog and trying to catch the move, and I use other surface and other splash of ink.
Okay, so we can go to another table to show the works of another student. If I can invite you to... We'll go back to the final product again. Here is Emilia Karbowska, the student of 5th year. She will be graduating this year. And she will show you some experimental techniques we've done last semester. So the floor is yours.
First thing is graphics is cyanotypia. It's really fun technique. It's really powerful because you can draw on your own paper, and it's really peaceful technique. And you can create everything by your hand. You don't have to have a matrix or something different thing. And next thing is colonography. It's made for matrix, but it's made for floral things. Just glue to the matrix. And my main thing, what I want to show, is that really big connection with plants, with organic things, and another structures, which I really connected with that. Another thing is these trees. These trees is behind my house, and that makes me really happy they are there. And this situation with another areas, another graphics, it's really main. And this yard is really big, and just really 3 or 4 trees makes really nice situation here. I also want to show my diploma. My first plate with diploma. I work at that, and I also think it's really fun, colorful. It's just nice to work. Every single day it's made me calm down when I made something like that. Also, my colleagues made another thing.
So Sandra, you can show your plate maybe. You have your friend here.
Sandra?
It's made from plastic. It shows they use a lot of tools to make different lines or different figures. And this is a plate from metal. It's from
zinc, from
zinc. We use it.
So the plate was covered with varnish.
Yes,
and then the drawing
varnish.
was made with needle.
Yes, exactly.
We will be showing some etching later. We can move to the other room now if you want. Panie Adamie, mogę pana za kwadratem poprosić? We'll show you how the matrix is etched in the etching room. So we will be. We have a very professional room for etching that we actually invented, and it's one and only in the world, we think. Let me just guide you to it. We will be looking at this. Well, I brought my plate just in case. This is a tank with different. Please come in, Adam. This is the plate I covered with varnish, and then I put salt on top of it because Adam has another plate also of etching. So you can see that the plate was covered with varnish, the brown substance, and then a drawing was made with lines with a needle. And the same in my case. The difference is I have a little dots because they are made by sprinkling salt, kitchen salt. Because printmaking is like, you know, working in a kitchen. There are different recipes, different processes, different order of things. But basically it's about how you like to cook your plate. So we will be cooking in the, you can look at this beautiful bath. We put the plate in the bath. And normally we will need to have it for a few minutes in the bath, but to show you just how the process works, this substance, it's not acid, it's copper sulfate. We have nitric acid here, so it's not toxic. But this substance, nitric acid, is a little more toxic. Well, it is toxic, but we have very good ventilation and very weak solution. So students are not in any danger while using either of the solutions. But this one, you can actually use at home. So if it so happens that for some reason we will need to go home and stay at home to print, we can etch at home as well. So I will just take it out so that you can see that, well, it's etching very slow. Can you see what happens in the hair plate? Może pan wyjąć? Zobaczymy, jak to wygląda. Widać? Może pan wyjąć, tak. So you can see that the lines became, there's this pinkish residue. So it means that the copper sulfate made some reaction with the metal, with aluminum in this case. So we need to move to water to have it cleaned out of the residue, just with clean water. As you can see that the lines are here. As you can see, it's a portrait. It's a portrait that is going to have more layers. So what do you think, Adam, you will do with it next? You will draw more?
Draw and retouch.
Retouch, yes.
And next time more time.
Yes. Yes. So you see, printmaking is all about layers. Adam will draw more, will cover some parts, and then put in another bath. So it's a few hours of this process before the plate can be cleaned and printed, as Andrew showed you before. So this is the etching process in the non-toxic solution of copper sulfate. I can take out also my print. As you can see, it's our architecture I'm very much inspired with. Okay, so it needs to dry and then I will work further on it. It's a labyrinth of the dormitories in Urbino, designed by Giancarlo De Carli. My memories from Urbino, so I'm always working with space and architecture and some labyrinthic structures that I think with my things. So let's go back to our students. We can see maybe the sugar leaf technique here. So my students Marianna and Sandra are painting on a plate in another technique. As you can see, here it's just normal ink, the ink we use for pens, for writing. We add sugar to it, we add gum arabic, and with this mixture we create a painting on the plate. So it's very direct, very spontaneous, very nice to do it, right? It's very pleasant. You saw it was an easy time to work on it in the morning. So this is a very heavy plate made of iron. As I told you, we use different kinds of metals. We have this research into different metals that can be used in different techniques. So this will be on iron. And this was the drawing. What was the inspiration for this drawing?
The city.
So the city of Łódź, as you can see, is now the very characteristic Łódź tram. You can see it. And the street of Łódź will be printed. So I told you we were using salt, now we are using sugar. And Marianna, what are you drawing? What is the topic of your composition?
I'm trying to create something abstract.
Okay, it's just a pattern, a composition, yeah. So printmaking can be fun. It's a meditative process that you can do at home, do a lot of preparatory work at home, but finally you need an etching place and a press. But I wanted also to show you how it is possible to make a print actually at home. During the, if I can show you here. During the lockdown, we needed to adapt, to invent possibilities to be able to print at home. And this here is a very common pasta maker machine. So it's we actually just took away one piece of it. It's used for making pasta. It's an Italian tool, but it has two metal rollers, so it can be used as a small printmaking press. And we actually made some tests last week, and you can see that these were printed here. And I also brought my plates to maybe quickly show you an example. So these are just my mini prints. And I will quickly show you how to print at home if you don't have the possibility, so it will be just a very quick demonstration. We are preparing for the possibility to have students work at home, and so from the day one we show them different ways of adapting to the possibilities you have at home. So on purpose I'm not using the hot plate because you don't have usually a hot plate at home, and it's not recommended to use ovens. So I'll just quickly put on the ink. I'm working with tarlatan, just like Andrew did before. As you can see, it's a small handy size, so it's easy to As you can see, we are using yellow pages from Łódź, a very old one. They no longer exist. But in printmaking, if you want to make a donation for the Academy, bring us old newspapers. Old, not newspapers, yellow pages. This is very good paper for printing. We use it just to wipe the plate. As you can see, wiping makes the whites become clean, and the ink remains only in the etched elements. This was a small aqua tint and etching and some lines made with dry point, and it shows the spaces of Galerias Pacíficos, a shopping mall in Buenos Aires, another space that now is empty and used to be full of people. So now I will need my colleagues to help me with printing. Just a moment, I will bring paper to show you. Oscar? So we need to wet the paper always, and I will just quickly dry it here so that you can see on a normal, regular towel. Będę potrzebowała drukować.
Okej, ja mam kręcić, czy...
Wiesz co, możemy tutaj zaraz to... So we need to put first the... Excuse me. So it's just a piece of cardboard, as you can see, very, very simple. It's so fancy because we happen to have this kind of cardboard here, but it's a total accident that it's so reddish and velvety. It doesn't need to be velvety to print, it doesn't matter. So we put the plate and we put the paper on top of it. And we need to have also a piece of felt, but you may as well use this kind of rug, kitchen rug that you have. It's easy to buy at any shop. So it's also possible to do this perfectly fine at home. So I asked Oscar to help me here with the pressure. Let's see how it works. So what we need is to put it here, and I will start rolling, and let's see what happens. It's good to have a second pair of hands, but not necessarily. Let me just see. Maybe you want to see from this side. I can just take a little peek if it's enough pressure. I think it is. So you can see, well, sorry for the dirt, the table was dirty, I didn't clean it very well, but the print is okay, as you can see. We can now compare the prints that I made at home at my professional press and the print that we made in the kitchen. I think it's even better print that I made today than I made before at a professional press. So you can see printmaking can be done at home with a regular pasta making machine. So it's not our invention actually, because we saw many videos on YouTube with many artists using this kind of provisional equipment. So we show our solidarity to all folks who are at home and don't have access to printmaking studios, so that you can, we also tried it out here in Łódź. So let's see what else we can show you. So Kinga here is printing her mezzotint. As you can see, it's a plate with a figure of a woman. Is it a woman or who is it?
Yeah.
It's the woman. You can see the little dots. It's this technique of mezzotint, so the whole plate is covered with a texture of little dots. And the whites are burnished with a burnisher. And now you are ready to print, or
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we can show on the press how you pour through. Do you have paper ready?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Wait a
good.
moment.
Okay. So it's important to clean also the boards before the edges of the plate before putting it on the press. And always the paper needs to be put into water so that it's very thick and has good absorption of the ink. And this again will be printing on the press. Maybe in the meantime I can tell you about the program we have for international participants. We have international summer courses of printmaking and textile art. They are called PATA, which stands for Printmaking and Textile Art. As you have seen now, our academy has very strong tradition in textile art. You have seen the beautiful textile department and the works made by our students. Here you can see the body of printmaking. You will also see more of fashion. All these disciplines are well represented on the summer courses that we have. Of course, last year it was impossible to run them. We don't know if it will be possible to run them next year, but we hope to go back to this tradition because we've had these courses for 8 years now and they have been very successful. So everybody could come during summer and study printmaking with us, study textile art, and experiment with all these techniques. So I hope in the future it will be possible for all of you to come to our academy to visit or to join our courses, or maybe to study within the Erasmus program, or maybe some residencies will be possible. So you are all welcome to follow us and to come to our academy in the future. We hope in the safe and good future. So now Kinga is ready with the paper. We will maybe put it like this. Okay, one more time. Still too black, so I have to fix it. Okay, so we can go back here. We will show you another step of the process. Andrew here has a ready plate, and he needs to put a varnish on top of it so you can see how it works.
First, I must throw the fat from the plate. The vernix was better. Then take brush, take a vernic. Like this with one. on brush strokes. Must be like in this one. It will be more smoother. 2 hours must waiting, and then you can drawing and make some wonderful stuff.
So Andre, can you say what the pandemic, the COVID time, the lockdown, the time when we had to work from home, how did you feel about it? What happened for you in this period?
First time I was still confused because we all sitting at the small rooms, and we have to understand how to work at home, and we made a lot of new technique like lithography in kitchen on the aluminum plate. So it was a new experience for us because we are working only on the big spaces, and we must try to make a small place to make a new print. So for me, it's enough to have to. Okay, it's enough.
Sometimes at home I make own crafts by old typical things like do clothes dry, and that's the things what I do. These graphics are made in my home, and what I want to say is that because of this quarantine and time in home, we also can work at home, like typical kitchen litho or monotype. I also made graphics which are full 4 or 5 matrix on one graphic, and what I do makes me happier than also around when I came here. Yeah, when I can't get to the old normal press, I just make on my own, and it makes me more calm down, and I think every can make on graphics on your own. Maybe you can do by spoon or something else. Just make every single person just happy and make something what cheers up.
So we can go there to this table. Andrew, Oscar, Oscar and Andrew. Okay? Yes, but they need to come to pick them up. Sorry. So here we wanted to show you a few more examples of prints. Andrew made this. I don't know if you already visited Łódź or not, but these are the images of Łódź. You can say what was the inspiration for your print.
For me, it was inspiration. It's an old history of Łódź. It means that there were manufacturing, like you see before, of silk. I guess it's so. Here you can see a spider, mechanical spider, which speak for us that of made some cottage, and then you here see a new manufacturing of factory was built 2 years ago, and now here will be a connect with Łódź Kaliska and Łódź Fabryczna by subway. So I've made here like a train underground, and then on the left side it's Academy of Fine Art.
And then here we would like to show you a few examples of our works created for an international project we were taking part in. Each year we try to participate in an international exhibition that takes place in Lisbon, in Paris, in Spain and in Łódź. And we usually get inspired with a piece of literature. This year it was, the topic was the motive of dandy suspended in a smartphone. So the motive of dandy and smartphone as a way of perceiving the world. So it somehow is related to this topic of being connected through the modern media, through social media, through Facebook, through YouTube, through our cell phones that are became the kind of prosthesis of our hands. And this is one of my prints, also inspired with Buenos Aires mall, like the mini print. And here is Oscar. Oscar is also teaching with me together at the Intaglio Technique studio. Oscar, can you say what is the inspiration of this print?
The inspiration was reflection or multiply reflections of buildings in another buildings, like in the mirror. So for me it was kind of interesting correlation between normal using mirror for reflection for our faces in architecture of city architecture. So I decided to make this.
And the technique it was made in?
Etching.
It was etching. So that, like we saw, varnish and then drawing with several needles on a plate. So before I take you to the lithography studio, I just wanted to say a few words to finish with Intaglio techniques. I hope this little tour of the techniques just gave you the idea of what Intaglio techniques are made, that we use different metals, different varnishes, different tools to create a matrix, and then we print it on a press which can be as simple as a pasta making press. Here on the table you can, on the wall you can see different tests made in different techniques but by our students. So this is a sugar leaf technique that you saw our students painting with the blue sugar and ink composition. So when you print the watery marks you made by brush, they remain on the plate and you can print them as if they were drawn. So why do we do all this effort in printmaking to make this matrix? The idea is to make a multiple, so to be able to actually send those prints to other people, to other countries, to other exhibitions. It is possible to have at the same time your prints in several places. So this is also what our studio does. We participate in those international projects that take place simultaneously in different countries. So we are very open to international cooperation. Each year we have students from within Erasmus program from whole Europe. And during summer we have participants from all over the world participating in our summer courses. During the pandemic time, it was for 3 months we were closed. It was not possible to use the studios. So we needed to reinvent the techniques and the possibilities and to address each student, each artist in their own way, the situation we found ourselves in. It was a moment of meditation, of looking more inside, on concentrating, focusing on your personal development, of somehow keeping up the good energy. My job was to inspire students to work despite the technical problems, to make a lot of drawings, to express themselves through different handmade techniques. We created a lot of animations, a lot of artistic books that were made at home, and we also dedicated to monotypes. And we made also online exhibition of the works that we hope to also show in reality when it is possible. So I just wanted to say hello to everybody watching us. We are very, very happy to be able to participate in this project. We are honored and thrilled, and as you see, my students, despite the conditions in Poland which are now not very safe, they decided to come here to share their experiences with you. They were very, very happy to talk about their work, to share their techniques, their emotions, their view on the world. These are young people who are just starting printmaking. but I hope that you felt our positive energy, our good vibrations, and all the passion we have for art and the specific processes that may be somehow magic, but for us these are, you know, like alchemic processes. I hope you feel inspired to come to Łódź, to visit our city, and to come to our academy to visit our studios. You are all most welcome, and we are waiting here for you. Thank you. And so see together. Let's see together. Thank you.